is a fabulous fabric from the land of the Five Rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We back. You already know what time it is.
Oh, you didn't know?
50-50.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show with PharoahNFL and the Zamir Raider, the realest show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Man, you already know what time it is, man. It's the 50-50 Show. Obviously, man, if you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. Hey, man, first day of mandatory mini camp. So we've seen the voluntary mini camps, but today was the first day of mandatory mini camp. We're going to get into that. Who was balling, who stood out, some of the things that were possibly concerned. You know, guys still hurt. Colton Miller, he ain't holding out. It's a good sign. We'll get into that, man. But what's going on, Zamir? How you been?
Oh, man, good, man. Busy day for me today, man. My son graduated from kindergarten today, man. So
that's what's
been
up,
man, since early this morning, man. You know, doing all that stuff, and then of course after graduation stuff, you got to take him out to eat and to have fun and all that stuff, man. So I just been ripping and running all day, man.
No, I'm already knowing, man. I know it's super busy, but hey, that's what I was gonna mention to you. I forgot to mention to you actually. I finally seen Sinners this weekend. And the funny thing is,
Okay,
I
wait.
actually went to the movie theater because everybody was all like, y'all was like, hey, you need to go to a movie theater. You can't watch this like on Prime and pay for it on. So I actually found a movie theater and checked it out. It was cool. It was a cool movie. It wasn't bad. And you know what? I thought that was a solid to good performance by Michael B. Jordan.
This guy, solid to good.
Solid to good.
Solid good.
It wasn't Academy Award performance. Like it wasn't like I'm not gonna give it that. Like come on now, come on. The standards got to be higher, bro. Than
watch. He's gonna get nominated for Academy Award for best actor.
For Sinners.
He's gonna be nominated.
You know who I'm really impressed with?
I can almost guarantee you.
You know who I really like? I'm like you could tell like he's maturing and like he's finding his like style is the director.
Ryan Coogler?
Yeah, Ryan Coogler. I like him, bro.
It's Bay Area native, man. Straight like that.
Yeah, man. But you could tell like he's because I think like when he first started out, he was super young. So it's like he's maturing. He's like kind of finding his own style as far as a director. But yeah, I thought it was a good. It was different. It was dark too, but it was a good movie. It was cool. But you know, y'all hyped it up. Y'all hyped it up. Y'all was like, oh, this is Academy. You said Academy. Academy.
I guarantee he gets nominated for Academy Award. I guarantee he gets nominated.
No. You said Michael. Like, you got to clarify though. You said Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan is going to get nominated for Academy Award for Best Actor. He may not win, but he's going to get nominated
for that movie.
Yeah, for that movie, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Okay. He played two people in one movie. He played two people. Man, I'm telling you, just off of that, just the Academy. That when you do something like that, and you have, and it was a really good performance. It was a really good performance. So if you do that and you perform that well, you're gonna get nominated. It's cool. You're gonna get nominated, man.
It's cool. I liked it though. It wasn't like because remember the main thing that I said was like, damn, like. You know, Michael B. Jordan, like he be coming off kind of corny sometimes in certain roles where he be trying. It feels like he's trying too hard. But this movie, I didn't feel like that. I felt like he played, you know, one brother who was one personality, and then like it came off natural, and then obviously the other personality. It was cool, bro. It was cool, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. East Coast in the building, my guy, man. Appreciate you coming through. Sacktown, Raider Mike in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Sacktown.
Raider Ray has a message. He says, Severe Namath in the building, man. Appreciate you, man. Hey, man, over your Severe, man. He's calling you Namath.
I'm calling, you know, my assumption is that, you know, because Joe Namath had predicted they'd win that Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he said. He's saying with Michael B. Jordan being nominated. All right, okay.
Yeah, he's gonna get nominated.
That's a little strong for me, but you know, it is what it is. It could happen. I mean, especially what happens if you know what movie I want to see though? We're not gonna say too much on this, but is that Spike Lee joint that's about to come out.
I ain't even seen nothing about it.
With Denzel. It's coming out. It's like probably this summer, I think. I forgot what the name of it is, but it seemed like it might be a cool movie.
All right, I gotta check. I gotta look into it. I remember Denzel said like he did an interview. He talked about like he low key gave up the game, but he was like, oh yeah, I'm only doing 5 more movies. He named like the 5 movies, like Black Panther 3 and Gladiator 2 and some other stuff. And it was like Ryan Coogler hadn't talked about it yet. He's like, it's Denzel. What can I say?
Oh yeah. And then Ryan Coogler obviously confirmed it. He was like, man, that's like we've been talking about this for a while. Like this is like a dream come true to work with one of the greatest, or he said the greatest actor of his time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope, man. When we but you know, Denzel obviously is a whole different ball game with him. One of the greats. Man, my guy says, what's good, Raiders? These OGs doing it big and just giving shout out for them being real. Hope Raiders get on the map. So chilling here. Good show. Take it easy. Don't listen to the drama.
That's Piano Man, I think. He a Chargers fan.
I'm looking at the.
Oh, him looks like it's gonna be. He talking about the movie Him.
Okay.
It looks like it's gonna be a good movie.
That's another two. So Ryan Coogler is one of the up and coming guys, or he's arrived. He's been there.
He's arrived.
But Peele is it
Jordan?
Is it Jordan Peele?
Jordan, yeah.
Jordan Peele. I think he's coming out with a movie that's interesting too, because it's like about an athlete who. Yeah. The premise is kind of crazy, and it's like a horror flick.
Yeah, that's the movie he's talking about. It's called Him, but I don't think he's directing it. I think he's producing it. So, which is like different. But his name is attached to it. So everybody's like hyping it up, and it looks like it's kind of stylistically kind of huge, similar to like the kind of movies he makes. But if I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in this chat, but I don't think he's directing it. I think he's just producing it.
Okay. All right, hey man, this is gonna be it's that time, man. Summer's gonna come out with a lot of movies, or I feel like last year, I don't know. I think due to the writers' strike, it felt like it was a little slow. Yeah, so now I think movies and stuff like that are making a comeback. But that being said, man, it's not wasting any time, man. So Raiders minicamp was underway today. First day of minicamp today. I think there were some good things that we heard. I mean. Let's start with the biggest thing that I heard, that the guy, I think everybody kind of can see it on the title of the show, is Dante Thornton. Yeah. He's out here playing with the first team on the outside. Like he's actually taking a lot of reps on the outside along with Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker, which is interesting because that's the period. It's in a sentence. It's like Jack Besh is not a guy that's been on the outside like Dante Thornton and Trey Tucker and Jacoby Myers so far, and he's been balling. I mean, he's been making plays, and I feel like the coaches right now, they're giving him an opportunity to show his ability. Bro, it's early, man. I don't want to get too hype.
Yeah,
I want to wait till training camp, a little bit of preseason, even like the first game, but like. Is this a sign that he's ahead of the learning curve? Like, do we have a guy that possibly can maybe be an early contributor year one?
Possibly. I mean, it's also a fact that like we don't have a whole lot of like talented outside receivers too. That's also, I think that also could play a factor. Like really, it's. On the outside, it's Jacoby, him, and Trey. I said before, I really don't consider Jack Besh. Like when people were speculating he was going to do it, I thought it was a bad idea. But I don't consider Jack Besh an outside receiver. I think he's like a big slot receiver, and I think he can thrive in that role. But on the outside, I think his athletic limitations, I think they may prove too much. Dante Thornton, it's him and Trey Tucker essentially opposite of Jacoby for that Z receiver, and that's the kind of the guy you need to have that kind of speed and athleticism on the outside. So it's going to be one of those two guys most likely.
Hey man, hey look, I'm calm, Coach. I'm calm, but at the same time. I am paying attention to this. Not the fact that he's making plays out there, but the fact that they're giving him an opportunity to play with the first team this early. Because early on, when the Raiders drafted in the 4th round, I'm like, you know what? I think he needs some time to develop. And, I think Jack Besh and other guys on the offense, they're going to have more of an opportunity. He might come in spurts, which very well might be the case, but I think right now he's getting a lot of looks on the outside, and he's competing with the guys like Trey Tucker and Jacoby. So that's a good sign for him. But we'll see, man. When the pads go on in training camp, obviously, it's still, they're still, they're still in mini camp. It's just mini camp right now. So we'll see what happens in training camp, preseason when he's out there, and then obviously when the season rolls around, we'll see what it looks like. But Man, I don't want to get too hyped because automatically when I think of Dante Thornton, I'm like, man, 6'5", 4.3 speed, and you have that on the outside, like that right there complements everything that we have on the team, talent wise. Like if you think about like what he could be or at least contribute to the team as of right now, like man, a deep threat along with Brock Bowers, like the number one option on our offense, and then you got Jacoby. A great number two, a good number two.
Yeah.
A big. If Donte could be a big play guy, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, his skill set is exactly what we need because we already know like the number one target on offense is Brock Bowers, and number two is Jacoby. But we do need that guy that's going to stretch the field, that's going to keep teams in those two high shells, and that gives you the opportunity to run the ball with Genty more effectively, as well as work those underneath concepts to Michael Mayer, Jacoby, and to Brock Bowers, to be quite honest with you. And if teams decide, we're going to leave you single covered, or we're not going to rotate that safety help over to your side, then you have to have the ability to make them pay. And it's seeming from what I'm hearing like he's having he's scoring. He's getting loose in these OTAs and in these mini camps, and he's scoring touchdowns or he's making big plays. So that's always a positive sign. You'd rather we want to temper our expectations and not get too high about it, but you rather a guy be doing this than not doing it. Like this could be the annual Keelan Doss, Jerron Kreiner Award, where like some wide receiver in the offseason always gets some hype, and then it doesn't come to fruition during the regular season. But with his pedigree, with his measurables, with his athleticism, I think he has a little bit more hope than some of the guys we've seen kind of do this thing in the past.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Like we keep saying it's still early, but then we just keep hearing his name. So we'll see what it looks like by the end of the offseason and when the season rolls around. But hey, a lot of good things so far with Donte. Now, that being said, your boy Zamir, he's coming in. You know what I mean? Kind of more not to say that he wasn't in shape last year, but he lost some weight. What they're saying. So, and he's looking like he's possibly could be. It's early, but a big part of the rotation because I think a lot of people kind of wrote him off, especially after last year. The Raiders had one of the worst running games in the NFL. So in a lot of Raider fans' minds, they're like, you know what? We need to tell everybody that it was nice knowing you, but you can replace. But at this point, like the Raiders they added Genty and they added a guy that gets hurt a lot in his career. In that played with the 49ers in Miami. I'm trying to think of his name.
Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, and he's gotten hurt a lot. So, and if he gets hurt, then who's the next guy up? And I know Genty is the guy that they're going to give the ball early and often. Yeah, but there's going to have to be another guy to step up. You know what I mean? To in relief of Genty. Who's that guy going to be? Is it? It looks like it might be Mostert, the veteran presence, but like I said, he gets hurt.
Injury history.
So does Zamir come? Does he come in and take that spot, or even maybe takes that spot in training camp because he's still on a rookie deal? If Zamir looks good and Chip Kelly. Likes what he sees from Zamir White. I mean, we've seen it all the time. Like we'll be like, oh, we've penciled in a veteran just because he comes with a history of being productive, but come training camp, there's always going to be surprise cuts.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, he's the guy. You already have him under contract. The organization kind of knows him. This is a new offensive system, so that doesn't offer him any advantage than previously. But the fact that he's come slimmed down, I think he's trying to be a little bit quicker out there. Not because I think last year part of the reason that he bulked up so much was he was expecting to be the bell cow back and expecting to take a lot of punishment throughout the season, and he needed that extra weight to kind of hold up over a 17-game season. But I think losing that, I think that's only going to benefit him. He's going to be faster, and hopefully that allows him to be a little bit more effective. Because if you look at the stable of backs like behind Mostert and Genty, it doesn't look great, right? It's Zamir White, it's Sincere McCormick, it's Dylan Labe, it's I think Isaiah Collier, I think he's still here. So it's not the most impressive group there. In terms of pedigree, Zamir White has the better pedigree. Obviously he's national champion with the Georgia Bulldogs. He was high round pick. I think it was his third round pick, correct? If I recall correctly, a third round pick. So obviously the previous regime saw something in him. And even when looking at like the running back rankings the year he came out, I think he was generally ranked like the second or third back in that class. So the pedigree is there. Just he hasn't shown it consistently in the NFL. So we'll see if his new scheme, new offensive coaches is able to draw something out of him.
Yeah. Like, and it's going to be interesting because a lot of guys that people are writing off, it's possible they can have a really good offseason. Even we even talked about like a Trey Tucker is a guy a lot of people are writing off. Zamir White is, and the thing is, maybe we might not like him as a starter, but as a rotational player, that can come in spurts, that can be a good thing. I think they can contribute in some way. So I think Zamir can do that. Dylan Lobby, my guy Raider Ray said Dylan Lobby, man. I don't know what to think about Dylan Lobby because every time I seen him come into the game, it was like he was fumbling and making mistakes here and there. But that's going to happen with a young player. But it's just they never gave him a shot. I guess they never trusted him to give him a shot.
Yeah, I mean, his first two touches were fumbles. I think he got a touch in the preseason, fumble. Then he got a touch in the regular season, fumbles. Like Chip Kelly's not going to. So that and as evidence, Chip Kelly's not going to tolerate fumbles. I think they asked him. We're talking about Ashton Genty. I think like the day beforehand, they called. He was talking about his draft process. And I think they said the Raiders called him. Maybe his running backs coach called him. Was like, yeah, man, what's going on with these fumbles? I think he had like 11 or 12 fumbles while he was at Boise. So they like, man, like, is this something that can be corrected? Like, there's something that's going to kind of follow you throughout your career. And he said it's something that can be corrected. So I think that kind of make them comfortable taking him. But Chip Kelly does not tolerate people who don't have good ball security. Like, he does not at all.
Rock says all pieces are there to score points. Geno better stop card type shit in a hurry. And he said earlier, my issue with Geno's interception. I think last year, a lot of people point to Geno, and I definitely, I remember listening to a Seattle Seahawk insider, and he was able to talk about Geno's year and what he was able to do, and he felt like Geno really was a really good quarterback, and the problem with Geno was that he was doing too much because a lot of things were going like. From a protection standpoint, he was getting a lot of time. He was trying to, but when your head coach Pete Carroll, one of the things he says is that the quarterback can't do it all by himself. Like he's trying to build around the quarterback so the quarterback doesn't have to do too much in order for them to succeed. So, and part of that is Genty, pick number 6. They're going to be running that. The Raiders are going to be running the football, like straight up. They're going to be running the football, and that's going to make it that much easier for Geno, and that's going to make it that much easier for him to not force the issue because he doesn't have to. And especially when you play action, and you got, obviously Genty's running the football, and then you can play action. You got Brock Bowers, you got Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers, he didn't drop a football last year.
Nah, 0% drop rate.
0% drop rate. And then you got Brock Bowers, one of the best up-and-coming tight ends that we've seen in a long time. Like, crazy. Like, and then you add some of these pieces like a Dante Thornton and Jack Besh. We got to see what it looks like on a football field. It's too early to say what they can do early on. But right now, Dante's ahead of Jack Besh right now, which is interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No one would have thought that right now. But like
Yeah,
Donte is getting
definitely.
a lot of looks with the first team offense. So that's interesting. But it's still early, man. It's still early. What else? Colton Miller. The return of Colton Miller. You know, early on, people were saying that he was holding out for a contract, which might have been true. But he was able to show up for mandatory minicamp, so he kind of put a lot of those things to rest. And I think we had Mitchell Renz. He was kind of like the first to call it, like, you know, he was like, hey, it's not going to be a big deal, man. He's going to be good. And he had like the inside information on that. He was able to let us know. But what did you think about Colton Miller coming back? And do you feel like Colton Miller will be a guy that this regime signs long term?
I mean, it's good for him to be here. You know, I think that just kind of shows you the character he has as a player. He's one of the leaders on this team. He's been here his entire career, you know, through multiple regimes, unfortunately. So he's kind of had to deal with a lot in his very young career. So, and if I'm them, yes, I mean, he's definitely a guy you want to keep around. He's a productive player. You never hear a peep out of him at all. I mean, you hardly ever hear him even speak at like pressers or anything like that. You know, he's just goes about his work very stoically. He leads by example. He's, you know, and he's willing to bring the young guys, you know, along with him. I think when JPJ first got here, you know, Colton Miller was a guy that was kind of, even though I think at that time Colton was still hurt, but he was still helping JPJ get acclimated to life in the NFL. So a guy like that, that's also productive, I think that's valuable to your organization. And they always speak about, you know, the kind of character they want, and they want to lay the foundation of this franchise culturally. Well, like Colton Miller and Jacoby Myers, you know, both those guys exemplify what you want in football players. They're productive guys that don't complain, that just show up, and they're willing to do the dirty work. You know, they're not, they don't care about their roles, they don't care about their stats, their accolades. They just want to do what it takes to help the team win. Both those guys do that. Both those guys are in contract years. The Raiders, they need to take care of both those guys.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, you know, Colton Miller said all the right things too. He said he wanted to be a Raider for life. You know what I mean? So he's saying all the right things, but from the Raiders' perspective, meaning Spytek and Pete Carroll and that the now like new regime, they're like, okay, you're a guy that's going into your 30s, but, you know, obviously, you know, offensive linemen tend to last a little bit longer compared to other positions, but you're going into your 30s, but you're also going in to see your last season, you had a shoulder injury, which took a little bit of while for you to get back to your normal self. And for them, they're like, you know what? Let's see if he's legit this season before it's a risk though, because the Raiders, that means they're going to have to open the check, you know, a bank account for Colton Miller if he balls out. Do you think if he balls out, do you think the Raiders let him walk, or do you think they trade him to the highest bidder, or they sign him long term? Because that's exactly what the Raiders are doing right now. They're gonna let it play out, because obviously he's coming back. He came back from an injury last season, so he didn't really play his best season. So from their perspective, they're like trying to bet on like, all right, we don't want to give a guy money and then he ends up being hurt for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a rough spot in terms of can they trade him? Technically, yes, but what are they going to get for a guy that's essentially the team is on a 1-year rental and the player is going to want conceivably a new contract or have the ability to leave in free agency? So they're not going to get good value for him. And he was coming off, you know, an up and down year where he started off real slow. Even though he finished extremely strong, he started off real slow. So you want to trade a guy in his contract year coming off possibly his worst year and the injury, like that's not the most opportune time to trade him. Do you want to let him walk? You can, but you know, left tackles they're not easy to come by. Hence why they're drafted consistently in the top of the draft. Like I think Spytek was just talking about it, right? You got like Will Campbell was a guy that was drafted. It was in the top 5 for this very reason. Left tackles are extremely valuable. So despite what some people having reservations about, some of his physical limitations in regards to his arm length, they still felt, hey, you know what, we got to take, like, he's possibly the best left tackle in this draft class. We need a left tackle. We got to take this guy. So if you're going to let Colton Miller walk for nothing, I mean, you're potentially just letting a second or third round pick just walk out the door. And he's even more valuable than that actually on the roster, because what you have in him. He's a top, 8 to 12 tackle in that range. Like, he's been that consistently for the past 3 or 4 years. So I don't think it's intelligent to let an asset like that just walk out the door for nothing.
Do you at least understand where they're coming from like, all right, are we going to invest into someone that can possibly be injury prone at this point? Like, do you agree with the wait and see?
Not really, because when you do the wait and see thing, I mean, that's how you end up with Landon Roberts and Devin White starting at linebacker. That's how you end up with Darnay Holmes starting that, right? Like, we just saw this happen, right? So, like, right. Just it's like just and left tackle is substantially more valuable than those positions. So, like, why play that game with your left tackle? You have a guy that's an anchor at left tackle, which you really don't have. For the most part, you don't have to worry about. Is he elite? No, he's not elite, but he's very good. So, and that's a position you haven't felt the need to even really look at for the most part, right? You've grabbed some developmental guys, and you grabbed one this year as well in Charles Grant. But unless he's on a rapid ascent to the ability to start, you're putting yourself in a very precarious situation in terms of the tackle position.
Previously Frozen Studio says, working the overnight shift, got you guys in the background. Enjoy the show very much, man. Thanks for this, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you watching, man. Hey, hold it down, man, on your shift, man. Look, the Raiders right now, it's the off season, but hey, there's a lot to talk about. That being said, Dante Thornton is not the only rookie that's impressing. Darian Porter is still starting on the outside with the first team defense. Like I said, it is early, it's mini camp, but still, the fact that he's out there and they have him starting with Stokes is interesting, to say the least, because you got Bennett, who was a starter last season. Obviously, we can all agree that, like, he was probably our best corner last season, until he got hurt. But that's the issue, is injuries. He got hurt his rookie year. He gets hurt again his second year. Had a torn labrum, was pretty much playing with that shoulder issue all season until the doctors told him, like, yeah, you can't continue to do this. And they had to shut him down, had to get surgery. The rest is history. Looks like he's trying to get back to the swing of things. But right now it seems like Bennett is, when we talked about this last week, but he once again was with the second team defense. He wasn't out there with the first team. So any thoughts on that and what that can possibly mean for Bennett long term?
Yeah, man, I think Bennett is in a tough spot, because sometimes the ground just shifts under you. Right? Through no fault of your own, you can find yourself jobless or find yourself on another team because he doesn't fit the ideal profile of the kind of corners that Pete Carroll usually wants. Now, is that a situation where he can't play in this system at all? No, I don't think so, because he's very athletic. He jumps out the gym, running a blazing fast 40, one of the fastest 40 that time. I mean, fastest 40 times in his draft class. So that the traits are there outside of the height. So can he compensate for that lack of height with those physical abilities? I think he can. But the other side of it is just learning the technique that Pete wants you to play with. And he likes his corners to kind of, obviously that if you're running that cover 3, you gotta stay over the top in that press. So, and I think he's been having some issues executing that technique. And the secondary coach spoke about that. And it hasn't been helped with the fact that, he's he's recovering from surgery as well. So you add the fact that he's been injured for his first 2 seasons. He doesn't necessarily fit the physical profile of the kind of corners that Pete Carroll likes, and he's been struggling thus far learning that technique. He could be in some trouble. Do I think here they're going to cut him or anything like that? No, but is a starting spot guaranteed? Based on what we see, or based on the lay of the land? Obviously not, because Porter's already kind of usurped him as the guy across from Stokes. And we were trying to figure out, we thought Ja'Cory Bennett was entrenched. We were trying to figure out whether it be Porter or Stokes opposite of him. And now he's trying to fight, to take one of their jobs. So if he's already starting behind the 8 ball, man, it could be a long summer for him.
I think they're going to try to, it feels like this, and I could be wrong, but they're going to try to see, they're going to try to put maybe Bennett in the inside, possibly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though, like, from what we've seen so far in his career, like, and what he's played in college, he's more of an outside. He's an outside corner, but the Raiders might be like, you know what, we like the 2 guys that we have on the outside, because Pete Carroll, he's saying Stokes is a guy that's impressed. He's saying that they're obviously impressed with Darian Porter, and Bennett in the inside. Oh man, that'd be a little bit of a tough thing. But yeah, that being said, man, if you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Yeah, we'll pay attention. It's early in the off season. Maybe when training camp rolls around, we'll probably get an idea of like where everybody's at in the battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, because right now it's still early, but it's interesting, man. Like they're like throwing the young guys in there and throwing them in the fire. Like but it kind of tells you what they thought about the roster to begin with. The fact that they're throwing in like a guy that some people might feel is a project, and Darian Porter out there at corner. He's only had 1 year of cornerback experience. Obviously, he was a former wide receiver. And then you got Dante Thornton, who, like, when we were doing mock drafts, like, oh, this is a guy that we like his measurables. We'll get him like in the 5th or 6th, gets drafted in the 4th, and he's out there starting. So that should tell you a lot about what they think about the Raiders roster. But, that's another way to look at it. But yeah, man. As Wilkins, that's another guy that we haven't talked about too. Christian Wilkins, he missed another practice, another camp practice, and in this case, the mandatory mini camp. So it seems like they're gonna take their time with Christian Wilkins. They're gonna give him as much time as possible to get healthy. But it's kind of like, man, I'm telling you, bro. I told you, I called it. PUP list, first 4 games. There's always that one player, bro. It's always like, oh, he's gonna be back by training camp, and then he's not back by training camp, and then the season rolls around. It's like he's missing the 4th, because like, man, that injury, the foot injuries for big guys, man, is it's a tough injury to come back from. And in Christian Wilkins' situation, there's obviously some concern there. And look, I said this early on when Pete Carroll was asked about Christian Wilkins earlier in the these voluntary mini camps. He was like, the normally positive Pete Carroll was like, yeah, it's been a tough road, like we're gonna give him as much time. Like you could tell, like that's the most positive thing. Like it sounded kind of negative. I'm like, Pete Carroll, come on, man. Like usually super positive, but you could tell like something is up with Christian Wilkins. So that might be a position right now. So I think Adam Butler was able to return. He was hurt in the offseason in some of these camps. He was able to come back. I believe when he was in there, Adam Butler was playing 3 technique. Lakey Foku was playing nose tackle, was playing the other D tackle position. And then Zach Carter is also in there. So it's like a little bit of like a rotation that they're running right now. But man, hopefully Wilkins come back, man, because when he got hurt, he was actually playing his best ball last year. It's crazy how that works. But yeah, he's still hurt. So hopefully by the time training camp rolls around, he'll be healthy. But I don't know, man. I just have a bad feeling about it for some reason.
Yeah, I'm personally not gonna start worrying until he actually start missing training camp. That's when I'll start to be like, okay, this is something different. Until that happens, kind of, hey, you know what? I'm assuming they're being just extra cautious with them. They don't want to, they don't want any setbacks in his recovery. They want to take him, especially when you talk about, you said, you got a man at that weight, and it's lower body injuries, especially like foot injuries, especially like when it's like that small bone, because it's hard to get that thing set and stabilized. So any movement in there disrupts the healing process. So that's why it can take a long time if you keep having incidents where it's not healing properly. So I'm not super worried yet, because a bone can heal in 3-4 weeks like that. So if they got the boot on him right now, he's doing everything he needs to do to ensure that foot is stabilized. Then I think, come training camp, he should be ready to, if not actually get on the field, to at least be off on the side working out with some trainers as he ramps up to get ready for those team activities.
Yeah, man. I hope. I think they're gonna be right now. They're being super conservative. After this Raiders mandatory mini camp this week, it's gonna be pretty much, this is football dead zone right now. We're approaching football dead zone from pretty much the end of this week and the end of July, early August. It's gonna be pretty much dead. There's not gonna be anything football related for the Raiders or any other team. But they're going to probably, they're going to, obviously Christian Wilkins is going to use that time to get well soon. Hopefully he does. Now I'm trying to think of anything else as far as, I am kind of concerned that Jack Bech hasn't really, been a guy that's been balling. I thought he was going to be a guy that was going to be, but it's like, hey, like we said, it's still early, but it's kind of like a little bit, I don't want to say disappointing. It's too early to be even saying all that, but because when the Raiders drafted him, I'm thinking, oh man, we getting a guy that's ready to go, ready to contribute, has that skill set. He has, obviously he's still a rookie, so got to give him time. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, like, he's kind of playing a position where there's kind of a lot of guys that's going to play that spot, like you mentioned, in the inside, that big slot. Yeah. And he might play some outside too, but probably not as much. But man, I don't know, man. When a guy that we respect in Steve Smith says that he needs to play tight end,
yeah,
I'm gonna note that, bro. And if he's balling out at wide receiver, bro, like we can put that down for Steve Smith as a miss. But
yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much it. There was a full attendance outside of Christian Wilkins getting obviously missing it because of injury, but for the most part, everybody attended, which is a good sign. Yeah, man. So we'll see, man. What do you think about anything that's going on with was on the rumor mill with some guys being available, like Jair Alexander? You got like Terry McLaurin, you know what I mean? You got Jermaine Pratt, who just recently cut. Like, you feel like some of these guys will be should be added to the team, possibly? Like, the Raiders should look into like picking up a Jermaine Pratt because he's a linebacker. We need some help.
Yeah.
Throw as much throw as much talent as you can at that room, because right now it's like we're trying to throw something at the wall and seeing what sticks at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt they do anything with Terry. That's going to be draft compensation, and he wants a new contract, and we just saw the kind of money that Higgins and Chase went for. He's going to want something in that neighborhood, so I doubt if we touch that. Jair Alexander, he's interesting, but he falls into that same category as kind of a Jacorian Bennett, where he's a shorter guy. Uber athletic, and obviously he's a much better player than Jacorian. So I don't want to make no mistake about that. But but he's on the shorter side and he's off injured. So Like, do they? And he's going to, be more expensive than what a guy like Jacorian is going to be. So I don't know if they necessarily go that direction. And then the cultural fit, he's been known to kind of be kind of a hothead and get into some trouble. I know they were able to get away with that a little bit in Tampa because they had such a strong leader, within the organization and throughout the organization. Like Jason Light had been there for a while. Obviously, the head coach had been around, whether before he was head coaching, he was there under Bruce Arians, so they kind of knew the lay of the land. I don't think the Raiders have the infrastructure right now to support a guy like that, and I don't think we're in the position to win now to be taking swings for these guys. So one guy I would look at Jermaine Pratt. We just did a film study on him over in the war room, and I missed most of it because I was with my son, but. From what I did see, when I got there, he's immediately our second best linebacker if we sign him. Is he the athlete that Devin White is? No, but he is right now he's a better football player than Devin White is. So if we were to take a chance on him, I wouldn't mind that at all.
I will say this though, like the Raiders, it's going to say a lot, and I think this is what the Raiders are going to do. They're going to figure out what position they feel like they need help with after these mini camps. So if they feel pretty comfortable with corner and the competition that's already in the room, then most likely a Jair Alexander might not be a guy that they add because it might not be a great fit because they got some young guys in there. They might want to give them an opportunity to develop. And then obviously linebacker, if they don't like what they see at linebacker, then a guy like Jermaine Pratt is going to be a guy that they're going to possibly add because there's no one on that linebacker where you could say like, you know what, we need to give Devin White a shot. You know what I mean? We need to get Jalen Smith. Like these guys could easily be cut at any time, at any moment. They didn't invest too much money into them, so. Yeah. So I think a lot of these moves they're gonna happen between now and training camp. So a Jair Alexander is on the table, I think. Terry McLaurin, even though I would like it for happening, but at this point, I'm not sure if the Raiders are going to go in that direction. That means they would have to give up a draft pick, pay a whole lot of money to my guy, man. I don't know, man. I don't think it happens just because it's just. Just reading between the leaves with Spy Tech, he's not a guy that wants to make a move like that if he doesn't have to do it. So,
exactly.
And yes, I'm not sure if he's going to want to do that, but especially especially the Raiders too. They did that a few years ago. It didn't work out, so I'm sure they probably remember that. I know it's a different regime, but it's just. Yeah. Speaking of that, man. Donte just can't keep the Raiders out of his mouth, man. It's like he's throwing it. It's not even indirect shots, very subliminal shots. Like, oh man, it's coming to the Rams. It's just so positive, and it's not as not like these other teams that he was. I'm paraphrasing, but he was just like basically shitting on the Raiders. Obviously the Jets too, but who was he with longer? The Raiders. So he was kind of shitting on the Raiders. But once again, but that's neither here or there. But Raiders Smoke, my guy, man, appreciate the super chat. He says, like and subscribe to both channels, man. My guy, man, appreciate you supporting. We got to get you on here soon, man. We got to get you on here soon, man. Appreciate you supporting the show as always, man, my guy. But yeah, man, Scary Terry's so crazy with the overhead catches and breaking. Yeah, man, Scary Terry, he's a beast, man. And you know what's funny? I think the Raiders were connected to him that year. Like the Raiders were connected to him, but the reason why I feel like they didn't make the move or weren't aggressive enough to make the move because they already made a trade for who? Your boy, Antonio Brown.
Yep. Yeah, Antonio Brown. I was telling everybody that year he was coming out of Ohio State. I was telling everybody, man, I'll tell everybody he was gonna be a dog, bro. Because he went to the Senior Bowl and he was just destroying everybody they put on him, bro. Cooking making them look like mixtape level, like crossover, like making everybody, bro. And he ran like he was already fast. Come from the Ohio State program where they're just churning out good receivers. So I just like, man, we got to get this dude. Like he's a monster, and we end up not getting him. So that's a story for another day. But yeah, man, that's not on the agenda for right now because we're just not close enough to win it. And I ironically brought up Devontae. Wasn't there like the rumor that Devontae might go to? I think we talked about it. He might go to the Commanders. He was like, oh, you know what? Like I don't know, 17. You're gonna like, come on, bro. Devontae, bro. Like, look, I don't even want to go and get into that. I don't even get into that, man. But that's just wild stuff. It's wild.
Yeah. But I do think Devontae did go to a good situation, though. I mean, I think it's a win-win when you go to one of the best offensive minds of football. So I think it was a smart move on his part. And then I think, if he can stay healthy, I think what's his name is one of the better QBs. Matt Schaub.
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford is one of the better QBs in the NFL. So when he's healthy, but and then you got the head coach, bro. At the end of the day, like it's that having a play caller. Hey man, I think that's huge. So right now that's why Devontae's feeling confident and talking all this mess because he feels good about the situation with the Rams. But we'll see, man. We'll see. It's gonna be funny though. Yeah. It's gonna be funny if I don't want to wish any injury on anybody, but if Stafford gets hurt, guess who the backup QB is?
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, that's gonna be
Jimmy Garoppolo, man.
That's gonna be hilarious,
man. That dude. Whew, hey, that's how you know the NFL is about relationships, bro. It's about relationships. Yeah. It's about relationships because I did not see it in Jimmy G. I don't know. Outside of like, man, what is he like? I guess he's been in the playoffs. I guess he got a lot of experience, so he's like maybe another coach out there for them. Yeah, just that experience or whatever. But I don't know. When I see what I seen, I just don't see how he. I thought his career was over. I don't think he was gonna get. I don't think anybody was gonna pick him up. To be honest with you, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, hey, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. But yeah, those are like the latest, guys that are connected to the Raiders. I don't think Scary Terry is, but I know that like the Jair Alexander people are kind of connecting the dots with the Raiders, obviously. And then you got you got obviously the other cornerback. Or not the cornerback, the linebacker, Jermaine Pratt. So I think that one is the most believable one, Jermaine Pratt. Yeah. That's the one where I'm like, yeah,
that makes sense.
That'd make a whole lot of sense. That'll make a whole lot of sense. But we'll see. We'll see. Raider Smoke says caught some of the Raiders media today, and damn it, they got me hyped once again. Max said himself, this offseason has been different, competition at all levels.
Don't let them get you, Smoke.
Bro. Hey, bro.
Don't let them get you, Smoke. This is designed for, bro.
Smoke. I'm telling you, bro. This is gonna work for you. This is for any Raider fan who's been through a lot of, traumatic, just disappointing, season. Cautiously optimistic. I'm telling you, just try it out, bro. Cautiously optimistic. Yes. It's cool. It's cool to be optimistic, but be very cautious though. You're like, okay, wait and see. Just wait and see. Because if you get hyped up, you're going to be calling in. You're going to have one of them crazy rants. Man, it's going to be tough, man, if you don't want to let yourself down like that, because we'll see though, man. I hope the Raiders ball out next season, but I just 2026 is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, man, They gotta show me, man. This is the vicious cycle that the Raiders be having us in. Like I think it's a meme at this point. Like the Raiders cycle of fandom, where it's like, you know what, like losing season, and like off season comes and we get excited, and the wash, rinse, and repeat, man. So like I said, I'm taking your approach, man. Because like look, and I will say that, man, the Raiders media team, like whoever they have doing their media stuff, man, that like over the years, they've upgraded tremendously. So they're very good at what they do. And their whole media day is designed to just inject the fan base with hopium, to get them to buy the merch and to get them to buy the tickets. And I was kind of on the fence about whether I should go to this game. But man, did you hear media day? Oh man, I got to go to this game now. And now, and then you're gonna look up, my motherfuckers are 6 and 11, and then it's like, oh damn, So that's why I'm not letting these dudes get me. It's like you on a diet. And then, like, all the world around you is trying to sell you, like, the worst food. You're like, oh, man, I'm on a diet. I'm not eating any processed food or this. And then, Popeye's got a chicken wrap. You're like, ooh, Popeye's got a chicken wrap. You're like, okay. It's like, like, no. You just say no. Put the chicken wrap down,
Hey, man, if you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. But it's that time. It is that time, man. It's flag on the play.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
So, man, this week, man, we obviously honorable mention was Devontae. Like we're tired of putting Devontae on flag on a play, but he was on that he was on the Up and Adams show, just talking some mess, but y'all check it out.
That has done nothing positive for Devontae Adams' life, right?
He wants to do that though. He wants to talk. He wants to talk about stuff like that. Like, but it's kind of showing a lot about him, though, man. But at the end of the day, like, we don't know what happened behind the scenes, but we do, man. Like, what we do know is that he lied, bro. Bro lied. Yeah. Come on, man. Like he's insulting everybody. He insulted everybody's intelligence. I was like, what the hell? Like, you really just try to pull an okie doke on us. Like, you try to make it seem like the Raiders or the media was tripping or whatever. But when in actuality, it was actually you and your team of, your agent and all that, whatever the case may be. Yeah. That being said, that was an honorable mention. We kind of spoke about it before the flag on play, but this week flag on play, there's a couple. Let me just start off with, should we start off with the heavier flag on play or let's just start off, nice and easy.
It started off like nice and easy. With the haymaker after we hit him with the jab. Ain't that right, Smoke? That's how you do it.
Right.
You say, get the jab working, then you hit him with the hook.
There you go. All right. Well, let's get into it, man. So I don't know if this is a jab, but this is not good though. Flag on a play, man, and for like the NFL, because I would say this is on the NFL because they're making these crazy deals with all these networks and streaming companies. But this is pretty much a tweet right here saying that the average NFL will have to spend at least $1,500 to watch every game this upcoming season. And then if you look at how they came up with that, it was Amazon Prime, $89.94, ESPN, Sunday Ticket, YouTube TV, Peacock, Netflix. They got the taxes and fees. This is kind of general because not everybody has all the taxes and fees, but anyways. But either way, you're still paying a lot of money, man. So it's crazy, man. We got to give the NFL flag on the play, man, right here, because it's especially as a Raider fan too. It's like the tickets to the games be expensive as hell just to go to a Raider game. Just now to watch NFL games, like, come on, bro. Like, what are they doing, man? What are they doing? And the NFL is not going to fix this. This is exactly what they want. Whoever wrote the tweet, I think he has Dove Kleiman or whatever. I'm sorry, man. They're not going to do this. It's just going to get worse, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's going to get worse, man. What are your thoughts, man, on how expensive watching NFL games is going to be?
It's ridiculous, man. Like the YouTube TV and Sunday Ticket, bro, that's out of this world, man. That's the bulk of the cost. That's the more than 2/3 of the cost right there, just on those two items alone, man. So that's crazy. But I will say this: like the NFL right now, NFL is king. So like people are they're going to pay the piper because they want to see the games. What's going to end up happening is that more and more people are going to start pirating it, and they're going to start losing revenue, and then they're going to have to start offering stuff where you can at the very least watch. You can piecemeal games, right? Because like, why am I paying all this money for games I don't want to see? I should be able to pay the money. Like, I don't care about what the Tennessee Titans are doing, or what the Cleveland Browns are doing, or what the New York Jets are doing. I just want to watch Raiders games. So I should have the ability to, pay to just watch Raiders games. And right now, they don't have any packages available like that. So I think that's something they need to look into. And if they don't, I think in the very near future, it's going to start hitting them where it hurts, where people are going to pirate it more and more. And or just share passwords even more. So they got to do something to fix this.
Well, shit, some people are already doing that right now. So they're not even gonna wait until their last straw. It's happening right now. I mean, people are gonna trying to find alternative ways to watch the games for free. So, but it's a sign of the times too. At the end of the day, too, because with all these like streaming platforms, it's kind of creating a lot of opportunities for deals like this. I think this is the reason why like the NFL is making the most money they've ever made is because now they don't have to like go to DirecTV or one place to make a deal for a Sunday ticket. Now they have like Netflix, Peacock, YouTube TV, ESPN, Amazon Prime is now like, it's like so many different ways for them to make money now. So this is not going away. It's going to get worse. If you ask me, but it is what it is. But it's still flag on the play though.
Because this is almost like and almost nobody has this anymore. Well, for internet, I guess, but like it's like the cable model where people were having to pay cable, and then like if you want like certain channels, you have to buy certain packages, but those packages have like all these other channels that you don't want and you don't care about. And basically, what's killing off cable is all these streaming services where you're able to, hey, you know what? I want Netflix. I have this available on Netflix, or I can buy this tier of Netflix or I can buy this tier of Amazon Prime. And if I want to pay for individual movies, then I can do that. But I don't have to pay for all this other stuff that I don't want. So I think that the NFL has to develop some kind of like team packages or some kind of like conference pack or some kind of like division package, something like that, where you're not paying for a whole bunch of games you don't want to see. I think that's how you maximize your revenue, because then you open yourself up to a whole new swath of people who necessarily don't have $560 something to spend on YouTube TV or $520 to spend on Sunday ticket, but they might have $100 to spend on all the Jets games, or $120 to spend on all the Raiders games for that year. Like, do something like that and make it available through the NFL app. That way you're driving traffic through your app and you're making money off of that. Like, I don't see why they haven't done that already. It seems like they're stuck in like, almost like an old model instead of like kind of catching up with what's going on now.
Yeah, and they're never going to look at it from a perspective of like trying to help. They're going to always look at it from a perspective of how are we going to make money the way we want to make money, and that's how it's going to be. But we definitely got to give them a flag on the play for that, man. NFL definitely gets a flag. We enjoy watching the NFL, but hey, man, they're not. Hey, flag on the play doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we love watching it, football. If it's a flag, it's a flag at the end of the day. That being said, that's not the only flag. We said we're going to start off easy. It's crazy that we're talking about the issue with watching games and how much it's going to be next season, and that was easy. But what's this flag on a play is just wild. It's a crazy story. If you haven't heard, two YouTube content creators were obviously like beefing. There was some type of beef where there's a war of words. They're going back and forth for a while. And the other day, one of the YouTube content creators was, and they're not Raider content creators, so don't. If you've been living on a rock, I think this went viral. I think everybody's talking about it, but one of them was on the Las Vegas Strip, streaming live with his wife, and the guy that he was arguing with, when he found him on the Strip, he actually shot and killed his wife, including the other YouTube content creator, which is crazy. Flag on the play. It's definitely flag on the play. This is a wild story, senseless crime, and it makes you think, like, what are you thinking? Like, just YouTube, just social media beef. Like, I just don't understand. Like what it's just a random situation. But let me actually pull up the names here. But Severe, if you want to chime in real quick.
Yeah. I know. I think one dude was like Sin City Manny. I forgot the other guy.
Sin City Manny was the guy that went ahead and shot and killed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Finney, the legend, is the one that was the victim in this situation. Yeah. Crazy story, man. It's wild. It's on. You could actually see. You can see the moments that right before the whole situation happened. Like, you can see, like, it was on camera. Like, you could see them going live, him and his wife, and then all of a sudden you could hear you see gunshots, and the rest is history, man. It's wild, man.
Yeah, I know we're talking before the show, and I know Finney the Legend, his channel. I was able to find his channel. I think he has like 5,000 subscribers, and I think you told me that the other guy had like 15,000, something like that. So this argue over like it's a couple $100. It's like, it's not like no crazy like YouTube fortune. This stuff is happening over. This is like, it's just senseless stuff, man. To be honest with you, man. And I don't know if Finney the Legend and his wife, if they had kids. I don't know if they had young kids. But that's like at least 2 families destroyed, 3 families destroyed, really, because, Finney the Legend's family and everybody that was close to him, his wife, family, everybody that was close to her, plus, Sin City Manny's, his family, like they're going to be devastated because they're losing somebody as well to life in prison over like copyright strikes, like stupid petty YouTube beef, man. And I think that, people, like the internet, it's they just say things like something could be a great tool, but it can also be like a great evil, and it can cause some serious damage, right? A hammer, you can build an entire house, but you can also physically assault somebody with it, like, and that's kind of what this YouTube stuff, and it's like the access that people have to you, and like that interaction, and the constantly being online and constantly showing your life, like all this stuff, it can be great. It can do great good. It can change people's lives, and give you a career when you didn't have one, and it can be educational and informative and entertaining. But at times you have stuff like this that happens, and when you put a tool like this in the hands of the wrong people, it can be a very dangerous thing, and as we see evidenced by this happening. And it's not the first time something like this has happened. There's been times in the past where other content creators have gotten into stuff and people have ended up unalived. So it's just a sad situation, man. It's a sad situation.
Daniel Kim says too emotional, man. Yeah. 100%. It has to be, because now he's somewhere in a jail cell, and he's going to be thinking about this the rest of his life, like, just because of some type of YouTube beef or whatever, social media beef, just because we're arguing, and there's not a lot of specifics. They just, we don't know what started it, but obviously they were going back and forth on social media, including YouTube. And then they also mentioned that, they were trying to demonetize each other's channel, and they were going back and forth when it came to that. It was just wild, man. I don't know. It's wild. Yeah, man, I agree. Smoke, he says, sad for both families, 100%.
Yeah.
I agree
ECG
100%,
said both
man.
channels had less than 10K subs, which is wild, man. Like I ain't making a whole bunch of money off this YouTube stuff. I don't
Okay.
anticipate ever making a whole bunch of money off this YouTube stuff, right? If it happens, it happens. But like, if somebody hit me with a copyright strike, my first thought isn't like I'm going to unalive you and your wife. Like that's like the thought that's gonna run through my mind. You feel me? So like,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. Like I've seen street stuff handled like more with more like with more like class and restraint and self-control than what this was handled with, man. So it's
I
crazy.
will say though, I will say this though. I will say this. I'm not gonna say that this is what you should do, but anytime you put in a lot of work, hard work into something, a lot of time and effort, and someone comes in and steps on that or disrespects that, that's what causes people to like, be like, what?
Yeah,
Are you serious? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like instantly, you know what I mean? Like that's what caused people to react a certain way, which is understandable. And I can understand that. Like anything that you put in time and effort and someone disrespects that or does something to you, it's only natural for you to like, feel upset about it. But obviously, you got to understand, like you got to mentally react and not emotionally react to the situation. You got, you know what I'm saying? But it's I don't know, man. There's not a lot of information as far as like what started it or whatever. All we know is that it's a YouTube beef and they've been going back and forth and things like that. But yeah, that being said, flag on the play. It's a crazy, sad situation, unfortunate situation. But we had to talk about it. Let's see, man. People literally rode around. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. That's
like,
the crazy part. Is that like there's a video for everything. There's so many different angles. You can see obviously from the angle when they're going live, then there's other cameras showing views of you could see him like shooting the gun, and then you could also see him a day before he's driving around Vegas. I think I might have sent that to you. He's driving around Vegas looking for him.
Like, I mean, if you're gonna do first of all, like, rule number one, like, if you anybody, that's what you could tell, man. Like, you tell people who are from it and people who aren't, and people who are from it, they're gonna know exactly what I mean by that. Like, rule number one, you don't self-incriminate. Like, there's rule number one, you do not self-incriminate, and have a plan. Like, if you're going to do something, anything you do in life, it's a job, it's you pursue a girl, you want to start a YouTube channel, have a plan in place, right?
Right.
Like, what was you're going to unalive somebody in the most public place in all of the world. Like, what was, okay, that was part A, but what was part B? Like, what you think was going to happen, bro? You just, so you just already resigned. So, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense, bro. I can't have my YouTube channel, so now I want to go to jail for the rest of my life. It's like, is that maybe that he was in that kind of state of mind, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. You should have a plan. You should understand, like, yourself to a certain extent. Like, all right, if this to happen, this is how you're gonna react to this situation. This is what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? We're all human beings at the end of the day. We're gonna have emotions on, like, we're all human beings at the end of the day. But I just think that, like, you're gonna have to understand, like East Coast says, crazy how that dude put 1,000 hours in the YouTube for all to be taken. Exactly. Yeah. You got to understand this part right here. I know, bro. Look at it. Look it up. It's wild, man. They got videos and everything.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy, man. But, it is what it is. Flag on the play, like we said. Also, man, we've said this before, man. If you have flags on a play, like if there's anything that you want us to show on the weekly segment that we do on Flag on the Play, Go ahead and send us any videos on social media, either on my Twitter, on my IG, or obviously Savir's IG or Twitter, and we'll feature it and we'll shout you out too as well, man. So if you guys have any flags on a play, definitely hit us up, and we'll try to include that on the show if we haven't already. Raider Smoke says, not condone it, but dude was calling him out for some years and he was ready to crash out, was just waiting for the right time. Savir, I don't think he really cared.
Yeah, obviously, man. Obviously. It's like, yeah. It's like,
yeah, man, that's well, hey man, well, he's gonna be in jail for a long time. Long time. But if you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. That being said, let's go to notable quotables.
Facts.
Notable quotables. This is where we play a quote that we find interesting that we want to talk about. M85 Wilkins still in the boot. Yep. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. But yeah, let's go to the first quote. Let's go ahead and let me go ahead and set that up. Savir, I don't know if were you able to see the first quote that I said?
Yeah.
If you want to give the intro to that.
Yeah, man. So obviously we brought in a new head coach this offseason in Pete Carroll, and he's been known to have his own defensive philosophy. But as part of his staff, he retained Patrick Graham, who we all know, has been the defensive coordinator here for the past several years. And it's very rare that a guy sees three regimes. So it begs the question, does Pete Carroll kind of conform or, let Patrick Graham do his thing? Or does Patrick Graham fit his defense or follow the kind of philosophies that Pete Carroll wants to put forward? And we didn't exactly get an answer. He talked about it, but we didn't exactly get an answer. But, he did say some interesting things.
In terms of collaborating with Pete and this new regime, what would you say is the identity of Raiders defense this year?
Well, it starts with our effort. I hate if one thing I've learned from Coach is to make sure simplify the message and just keep giving it to him. Just keep giving it to him. So it doesn't have to be 20 code word or 20 buzzwords or some big paragraph or anything. We got to play with great effort. We're building the foundation for being a physical team. We got to play smart, so those are the things in terms of what we want the defense to look like. And then, make the offense earn it. No easy plays. You got to take away seams. You got to take away posts. Can't let them run the ball around the edge. Again, it's not real football in terms of the run game yet, but we have to have an understanding of that's what we're trying not to give up,
In terms of collaboration.
You could tell, there's a little bit of Pete Carroll influence in what he was trying to say, simplify things. That's what did we hear from the, Pete Carroll coach defense, coach teams, anytime they had any type of defense, and even the disciples from Pete Carroll, defensive coordinators like Gus Bradley, and what they played that cover 3. They want athletic guys, fast guys to play fast, and how they do that is by making it very simple. So you could see where a guy like Patrick Graham, maybe he's taking a page out of his book, and maybe that's a message that's being relayed to him, and he's like, okay, I'm on board with that. That makes sense. But do you think that this defense this year, do you think it's going to be a Patrick Graham defense that we've seen over the years, or it's going to be more of a Pete Carroll influence? Is it going to be a Pete Carroll? Is it going to be Pete Carroll's defense?
I think that it's going to be a hybrid of both. I mean, one thing you about Patrick Graham is he's been very kind of malleable when it comes to the schemes he runs. He's not it's not really a Patrick Graham philosophy or system. He really does fit his scheme around what he has and the strengths of that team. That's why he ran different stuff when he was in New York than he ran when he was in Miami. And obviously, his first year here, he ran some different stuff. And last year, we were running a lot of 5-man fronts. This year, we're going to probably run, a lot more 4-man fronts, a lot more big nickels with, multiple safeties on the field. So like he's been very malleable in what he does. And he said before in the past, like he's like the mad scientist when it comes to like defensive schemes and stuff like that. He likes to do a lot of different things. So I think it's going to look more like what Pete Carroll has done in the past, but there are going to be several wrinkles in there where Patrick Graham kind of gets to put his own spin on it. But you wouldn't have got any of that from his answer because like he really didn't like he answered there was a question that was asked, but he kind of answered the question that he wanted to answer without like giving any real details, which is that's kind of what coaches do. Like it's like asking somebody like, oh, what's the secret to making your fried chicken taste so good? And they're like, oh, baby, I put a little bit of my heart in every. Like, no, that's not what I'm asking you. Like what seasonings you put in there? Like, it's a paprika. You just got some onion powder. Like, what you put in? Like, nah. So it's one of those situations. Right. He gave the canned answer. Like,
right?
They're like after school special answer.
Yeah,
like, it's all about the effort.
Yeah. Nah, you know what? Hey, I'm being honest though. It's gonna be interesting because like. I know that like Patrick Graham has been he's been coaching the defense for 3 years, but he did lose a lot of starters. He lost a starting safety, he lost a starting linebacker, a couple of starting linebackers, and he lost a starting corner. Now, like if Eric Stokes and Darian Porter end up being the starter, that's 2 new starters on the outside. You got another new starter who. Technically, he was here last year, so I guess you can say like he's familiar with the scheme. Currently, the nickel corner right now, but
Darnell
Holmes, and I'm trying to think of the linebacking core. If you think about it, like it's pretty much revamped, like all new.
Yeah, so, outside of Tommy and Amari.
Do you think that kind of, and then you got Pete Carroll coming in. So is it kind of, do you think that kind of nullifies like, oh, Patrick Graham's been here for 3 years, so he has a system in place? You think that kind of like cancels itself out because we lost a lot of starters and there's a lot of new guys outside of like maybe your Max Crosby and some of the D linemen or whatever?
Yeah, it does.
Polamalu, okay, he was there.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah,
Polamalu
was there. Polamalu was there. It does, but at the same time, we always hear all the time, all these NFL teams are essentially running the same thing. Only thing that really changes is the terminology for the most part. Maybe a few wrinkles here and there where they do something different, or like just the assignments may be different in something, or the disguises may be different. But for the most part, all teams are running something very similar. So, and if these guys have played together, a lot of them haven't really. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, you would think that, we talked about Patrick Graham. The starters are different. There's a lot of the depth guys that have been around for at least a year. You think about Chris Smith, think about Trey Taylor, think about Tommy Eichenberg, think about Amari Gaynor, Darnay Holmes, obviously, Sam Webb, Caillou Blue, Kelly, whatever the guy's name is, like DCam. Like the backup guys are the depth. These guys have been in this organization. A lot of the starters, or a lot of the presumed starters, are new. So maybe just those backup guys having that experience with Patrick Graham, his expectations, maybe that helps a little bit. And then obviously Pete Carroll coming in, putting his own little stamp on things as well. I don't think he's going to change things too much where he's making wholesale changes. So if that's what you're going to do, then why keep Patrick Graham, right? So I think there's going to be some changes. There's going to be some mixing and matching, but I don't think it's going to be like so dramatically different that none of the experiences that these guys had in the past counts for anything this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see what it looks like next this season, especially because like Pete Carroll, he's definitely getting his guys in the building.
Yeah.
Darian Porter is a guy that Pete Carroll likes at corner. Eric Stokes kind of fits what Pete Carroll wants at corner. Bennett is kind of taking a back seat. I know we all the whole excuse here is, oh well, he's still working his way back from injury, but he's out there, and he's playing with the second team, meaning that they like what they see from the other corners compared to what they see from Bennett. so far. So, I think that's where the influence comes in for Pete Carroll. He's kind of getting the guys that he wants to play on the defense, and then Patrick Graham has to figure it out, basically. But we'll see what it looks like. But we're not done yet, man. We got another, notable quotable, and this one right here, man, is from a Raider legend, an all-time great, man, one of the best receivers of all time, man, Tim Brown.
My guy, Raider Smoke's favorite player, by the way, man.
Hey, man, leave that man alone, man. Leave that man. That's an insight right there, man.
Man.
Man, you funny, bro.
Hey, Tim Brown, stay away from the Vegas Strip. If Raider Smoke is in Las Vegas, Tim Brown, do not go to the Vegas Strip.
Hey, Smoke, man, let me know what you think, man, about this comparison. So Tim Brown was asked about Genty, and he made a comparison to him, which was interesting to say the least. But let me go ahead and play the clip.
Who does Ashton Genty remind you of?
Obviously Bo and Marcus were two incredible athletes, and what they brought to the table was some totally different.
Hey, real quick. This is how you know, man, Tim Brown is a Raider, man, because he could have easily just went with any running back in NFL history. But he kept it with the Raiders. He said, Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen, but what? Yeah. And guess who he finally lands on as far as the comparison?
Marcus, is probably the best running back that I've ever seen. His ability to block, his ability to run, whatever. Pass, he probably a better quarterback than some of the guys we had, on the team. But the guy that he really reminds me of is Napoleon Kaufman. I think Napoleon came to the league, a very undersized, body or whatever, but had the ability to return punts and kicks and do a lot of great things. And his ability to hit a hole and explode was really, really amazing. And so I just think that, if he can do some of the things that Napoleon was doing, now he may be asked to do even more because Knapp wasn't asked to carry the load as much. I think he was sharing it with Tyrone Wheatley and a couple other guys. Genty, it's going to be all on him. It's going to be all on him to carry the load with the running game, and hopefully he can get that done. But I think the Raiders, and really looking forward to see him play.
Short career for Napoleon. Explosive, though. I love the comp back in the 90s.
Real quick, man.
First of all,
man,
that guy Tim, man, this is
Tim
crazy.
Brown, man, OG Tim Brown, man. But
this is crazy. Tim Brown was watching the Diddy trial for you. He was watching the Diddy trial before he went on with K.
With popcorn too.
He went on with K. He went straight from the trial to K Adams. Like
what's next?
First you gotta carry this. You gotta carry this load. Then you gotta hit the whole hard and explode. Like what? Oh, Tim.
Man, that's wild, bro.
You went to a Catholic college, Tim. Come on. Man.
That's hilarious.
Man.
That is hilarious, bro. Tim Diddy Brown. That's funny, man.
Crazy work on that. Crazy work though.
Bro. Yeah, he did. Well, man. Hey, look. So I'll say this, man. Let me start with this. First of all, why is the Ashton Genty comparison so off? I know why he's comparing them to Napoleon Kaufman, but it's like what people like to do is they take one aspect of a player and it'd be like, oh, he reminds me of him. But is that how someone reminds you? Like just one little thing that will make it seem like because Napoleon Kaufman was a completely different player, faster, a little shiftier. You know what I mean? Genty's a lot more physical. I think he was just trying to say like his size coming in. He's not super big, but he would still be able to be productive.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, man. Like that's how Tim Brown is a Raider through and through, man. She asked him like, who does he compare to, and he just went straight to all-time Raider players at running back.
Yeah, he's like all of them. Like
exactly. Genty's more like Emmitt Smith to me.
I think that's a very good. I think that's kind of, if I have to compare to somebody, that's kind of who I would go to. Where it's like not super athletic, about the same size. They're both from Florida. Like you said, not like they don't do anything exceptionally well. They're just pretty good at everything, but their instincts and vision as football players is kind of what carries them. So I think, Genty, and Emmitt Smith was a heck of a player for a very long time.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, it's not just Tim Brown. A lot of people have these random comparisons. Even I kind of was like thinking about it. I was like, man, he doesn't really play he doesn't run like Maurice Jones-Drew. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different type of running back, in my opinion. I mean, it's just the size. Like we're just looking at one feature and be like, oh yeah, he plays like them. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, man, Smoke. That might be a good comparison, though. Maybe Emmitt Smith. But I want to see him play, though. I want to see him play, especially in today's NFL, where like tackling is an issue, just because there's not a lot of time. Not a lot of time for teams to really practice on tackling players, and then you get a guy like Genty. I want to see what that looks like in the NFL. A guy like Genty who literally makes a living on breaking tackles and his contact balance. What is that going to look like in the NFL? Like, is he going to expose NFL defenders, or is he going to get exposed because he didn't really play against elite competition week in, week out? But that's we'll figure that out, man. Hopefully when the season comes around, man, I can't wait for the season to start. Yeah, I know, bro. The short thick is hard to wrap up. It's just wild. Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
You see Marshall Faulk in
I don't see
man, I don't see it, bro.
I don't see that.
Man, like Marshall Faulk had a little bit of like shimmy to him. Like he's
and while like Genty, he's an underrated receiver, he's not the receiving weapon that Marshall Faulk is, in my opinion. And even like because he was very productive the year prior, not this last year, the year prior as a receiver. But if you look at it, a lot of it was like, kind of pop passes and like basically like simulated runs that were passes. So it wasn't like true like receiving statistics.
East Coast, man. Dante says Ashton Genty is Cadillac Williams mixed with D'Angelo Williams to me. I thought about that a lot.
Cadillac's prime was very short because Gruden. D'Angelo Williams played for a long time.
He ran him to the ground. Yeah, literally. And D'Angelo Williams, he wasn't a big back too.
He wasn't a big back either. Dean Williams out of Pittsburgh. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember all the years with D'Angelo. I remember he was a hell of a player. He was a hell of a player at Pittsburgh. I don't remember everything. I mean, he's with Carolina forever. I'd have to go back and watch them. I remember Cadillac. I remember Cadillac from Auburn. I remember that team vividly. But I have to go back and watch those guys to kind of see.
Who was the other running back?
Ronnie Brown.
Ronnie Brown. What team you play for?
Miami Dolphins.
There you go, bro. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown. What? Hold up. They came out the same. They came out the same year, huh?
They came out the same year. Yeah.
They came out the same year. So Up in Smokes says Gridiron says Cadillac and D'Angelo. I expect Cadillac and D'Angelo. Hey, we'll see, bro. We'll see, man. Justin Fargas? Hell no.
If we get Justin Fargas, bro, I'm blowing up my television set. Like, I mean, we were just looking at it before, right? And I know we talked a little bit about Ashton Genty, what his expectations were. But I know a lot of people say LT. for as a comparison for Genty, which I personally don't see. But I think LT put up like 1,200 yards in a 16-game season, mind you, his rookie year. And then, the other generational back was Adrian Peterson. I think he put up like 1,300, almost 1,400 yards as a rookie. Also set the NFL record for most rushing yards in the game as a rookie too. I think Saquon Barkley as a rookie led the NFL in scrimmage yards, but I'm not sure if it was his rookie year or his second year. But I want to say as a rookie, he led the NFL in scrimmage yards, I believe. He's a generational back as well. So people saying Genty is generational. And people are like, oh man, Genty is generational. I'm like, all right, cool. I expect 1,300 yards. Like 1,300 yards? Come on now. You expect like, yeah, bro. You saying he's generational? These are what these other generational backs are doing. So if he's generational, I'm expecting that same level of production out of him.
Earlier, off camera, we were talking about underrated running backs because we're like, who is the best running back of this generation? Adrian Peterson obviously is a guy that comes up to mind. And then you think of LaDainian Tomlinson. And then we were going back and forth like, well, I can see how LaDainian Tomlinson can be because he kind of brought more of an all-around game. And then but AP was just pure domination. Like his prime was crazy. Like as soon as he got to the NFL, like he was dominating. Like you said, he broke the single rush game record. Was it against the Browns or was it the Bears? The Bears or Browns? I think it might have one of the two.
I don't remember. I believe it was at home though, and they pulled him.
Yeah,
they pulled him. He could have got 300. He could have been the only person ever to get 300 yards rushing, right, which would have been crazy.
Right. And then we're thinking about like underrated running backs, right? Yeah. And I was like, Flores is one of those guys that's underrated. Like no one really talks about, but like he had a pretty long, consistent career. Yeah. But I was just thinking about like Jamal Charles. I feel like it's underrated. Jamal Charles.
Yeah, because I said Curtis Martin and Fred Taylor are the two most underrated to me. Yep. Just guys that were just don't get their credit because they're partly because they're on horrible teams. But Jamal Charles was cold. I remember Jamal Charles because he would do that thing where he like put his head down when he was in the clear, and that would piss me off every time. That would piss me off so bad.
He was good, bro. He was good, man. He was good. And but the thing is though, he kind of played on some bad teams or some teams that really no one really remembers. Like he kind of came after like he was like before Mahomes got there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I'll throw in as Jamal Charles is like underrated running back. No one really talks about Priest Holmes. We talked about that before.
But KC had a smooth run with running back because they had Priest Holmes. They had Jamal Charles. They had Larry Johnson. People forget Larry Johnson. That's another dude that got ran.
Larry Johnson, though, was literally 2 years.
Yeah, he got ran into the ground. That was my concern with Josh because like those guys that have those crazy amount of touches and those crazy yards is usually 2 years after they break down. It happened to Larry Johnson. It happened to DeMarco Murray. It happened to David Johnson. He did all these guys it happened to. Like
how many carries did Josh get that record-breaking season? How many carries did he get?
I don't think it's carries. I think maybe it's touches, but I forgot what it was. I forgot what the number was. But all those guys, once they hit that certain number, 2 years later, they either have devastating injury or they're out of the league. I think Christian McCaffrey happened the very next year. Saquon, it happened the very next year. The very next year after he led the league in touches and all-purpose yards, very next year he was hurt. Like David Johnson, 2 years later, he's out of the league. DeMarco Murray, 2 years later, he's out of the league. Larry Johnson, 2 years later, he's out of the league.
David Johnson, like completely, like he just completely fell off.
Yeah.
Short prime. Pharaoh optimism is funny as hell, man. Hey, man, cautiously optimistic, man. That's what I call it. Cautiously optimistic. Yeah. Marshall Faulk. You know what? Who would you put in that number 3 slot?
In this generation?
Because I know you got AP1 and LT2. Who would be that number 3 slot? Because I feel like you can make an argument for LT to be number 1, but
You can. To me,
But either way, those are number 1 and 2. Those are number 1 and 2. I'm not. Those are set in stone. Who's number 3? That's the one. That's what I'm like thinking. Number the third of this generations.
This generation. Man, this generation. Man. Because I think kind of Marshall was kind of before this generation, really. I think he would be like the generation prior. Amon Green he's smooth underrated back too. Trying to think, who was another guy?
Ahmad Brown? Yeah, Ahmad Brown.
Amon Green.
Amon Green.
Did I say Brown? Did I say Brown? I mean, Amon Green.
I'm reading Smoke said Brown though. Smoke said Brown.
Oh, I think he corrected it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like brown, green, red, purple. It's all colors.
Yeah, I'm on Green with the Packers. He was good.
Who was Damn, I'm trying to think. Who was this price over that?
Oh, Jamal Lewis was nice too.
Jamal Lewis. I was thinking Jamal Lewis. I was also thinking Arian Foster, but Arian Foster didn't have long enough prime. He was hurt all the time.
Yeah, Arian Foster was good.
Arian Foster was cold. I'm trying to think who was like always in that conversation.
Sean Alexander too had great vision.
Sean Alexander was cold too. Yeah, Sean Alexander, that's another one. No, it might be Sean Alexander. Oh, but damn, I think about. Well, I don't know if I'll put Deuce McAllister that high.
Damn,
Deuce McAllister.
Who is that number 3, man? Like
Deuce McAllister was a factor.
Oh man, Garrison Hurst, man. I already knew you watched 49er games, Smoke.
Yeah, man, Smoke.
I know you watch 49er games.
You hate Tim Brown, and you talking about Garrison Hurst. Looking at you, Smoke. Looking at you, Smoke. You've been going to those Warriors games over there.
Well, Bo Jackson. No, we're talking about this generation, though.
Yeah, talking about this generation.
Your generation.
Yeah. Kind of like the 2010 or let's say 2008-ish to, well, not because Marshall was LaDainian was kind of before that though. Damn. If we talking about way back then, we got to put Marshall right there. Then we got to put Marshall right there because he would fit in that era.
Marshall Faulk was nice, bro.
Terrell Davis, he was kind of winding down at that point. Terrell Davis was winding down at that point. Edgerrin James. It's another guy.
I'll say maybe underrated, but I wouldn't put him number 3 though. Number 3?
I don't know if he's underrated. Edgerrin James was a dog.
Yeah, but like I don't think anybody talks about him like that. I don't think he gets he get bust. Chris Johnson.
It's
short prime.
I can't put him number 3 off of that though. Yeah,
no, not number 3, but underrated.
Underrated. Oh yeah, but everybody knows Chris Johnson. That's the thing. Like everybody knows who Chris Johnson is.
Yeah. Damn, Steven Jackson was good.
Steven Jackson was. Yeah, Steven Jackson. Know what? That might be the dude. Michael the Burner Turner, Lamar Miller. That's for the Texans, I believe, right? Lamar Miller.
Texans and Miami. He played for Miami too. Alfred Morris, I don't know. Lamar, I'll give you Steven Jackson though with the Rams.
Steven Jackson for sure.
He was a monster, bro. He was good.
Yeah, Steven Jackson for sure. Michael the Burner Turner.
But I don't know if Steven. Damn, that is like a tough. That's actually who is the number 3. That's a better conversation. It's like who's the 3rd ranked running back. We all know that it's AP, whatever combination of 1 and 2 you want to put is Adrian Peterson and LaDainian Tomlinson. You know what I mean? That's if y'all want to argue that's a whole different argument for another day, which I ain't gonna do. But number 3 though is like that's a tough one, bro.
Yeah, I'm probably going Steven Jackson or Sean Alexander at number 3. I'm probably going Steven Jackson.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But if you haven't already, make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Reese Jones-Drew.
JD was cold too.
Because who was consistent? Because the one thing about LT and AP, they were consistent for a longer time, and they dominated for a longer time. But after that, I feel like everybody kind of falls in within the same, like, oh, they had a year or two where they were like, and after that, they were like kind of cool. They fell off. Injuries sometimes happen too.
Yeah, I think that kind of happened. I think that happened to Sean Alexander too. To be honest with you,
you know what, Frank Gore?
He played in that. He was consistent, but he was never
watching him. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Watching him. No, you say it was like.
No, I'm just saying, watching him, I don't look at him as like hell no, this dude is not like he's talent wise, but not. But and when I'm saying it from like a just watching him play, like, but he just gets it done.
Yeah,
hella consistent.
Like, yeah, but it's like one of those situations where he was never. You would never like consider him like one of the better backs in the league. He was just like cool. He was good. He was pretty good the entire time.
Like Cedric Benson was a bust.
Cedric was massive bust out of Texas. Another guy. Damn, what's my guy? I just had him. God damn, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh, Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis.
Oh yeah, Clinton Portis. Where would you put Marshawn?
Oh, see.
You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of like the running backs are all kind of like in the same kind of.
And know what that tells you? That you shouldn't draft him in the first round. That's what that tells you right there, right? Exactly what that tells you. Exactly what that tells you. But hey,
Raiders. He says, "Oh, you said Maurice Jones-Drew." Oh, you know what? Hey, you know what? I think he has a case, bro. I think this might be the answer.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
but I would consider him more newer though, because if you consider that in that same range.
Okay, when you say this generation, are you saying the last 20 years, or you're saying 10 years? You looking 10-year span, or are you talking about 20-year span?
Because I'm looking at like, if you're counting running backs today, then for sure Derrick Henry will be there.
I'm saying because last 20 years. Last 20 years.
If you look at last 20 years, okay. If you look at the last 20 years, then Derrick Henry is the for sure.
Then Derrick Henry is in there. But if you're looking, if you're talking about 10 years, like not the last 10, not the last 10 years, but like the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was looking at
right.
Like I said, like 2008, like 2000s, like 2006, from around time that LT was drafted. So that was like what, 2004? Nah, before that, because it was that's the same draft as Vic. I don't remember what year. That was. But
y'all funny as hell, man. Y'all funny. That's it.
Yeah, early 2000s to like 2015ish is what I was looking at, basically.
Yeah. Forte was nice for a second, but he wasn't like
Matt Forte. Oh, for the Bears, I remember. I remember. That's the year we drafted Darren McFadden too, and they took him in the second round, and people was kind of clowning us because he was like coming out looking better than Darren McFadden until he.
Yeah, man. Derrick Henry might be the third best.
Yeah, if we count the last 20 years, then it's probably Derrick Henry.
Because he's been consistent. He's been consistently like in that top 2, top 3 discussion every damn near every year.
Every year. I think he has two rushing titles, 2 or 3 rushing titles.
Yeah. Derrick Henry might be the third, bro. I think that he might be the third. Damn, that was a good. Hey, man. Now that I think about it, like my guy, man, Gotti, man, appreciate it. You might have answered the question. I mean, do y'all agree? Derrick Henry should take that number 3 spot?
Some people are gonna be like Marshawn because the sentimental value.
Clinton Portis was nice, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Portis was a dog.
That was probably the most talented running back that the Broncos had, but they ended up trading him because they believe in the system before the player, which obviously their system worked. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it was just hella random.
They trade
Ruben Drones, and
Mike Anderson.
Mike Anderson's,
Olandis
Gary, like guys, just random guys that they just plug in and they just be productive. So they kind of like, I guess they were right, but you know, it is what it is. But if you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's get to what's real, what's not. This is where we say statement. Y'all react to it and let us know if it's real or it's not. Me and Severe would obviously do the same. Let's go ahead and start with the first what's real, what's not statement. And the first statement is Darian Porter and Eric Stokes will be the opening day starters. Darian Porter and Eric Stokes will be the opening day starters at cornerback. Is that real or is it not? So once again, Darian Porter and Eric Stokes will be the opening day starters at cornerback for the Raiders. Is that real or is it not? I'm going to say it's real. I think Bennett is just going to be one of the surprise like guys that get, I want to say traded, but like more so like, you know,
kind of shoved to the back.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna try to do some weird stuff where they're gonna like, hey, play in the inside so you can get on the field and yada yada yada, and we'll see how that works out. But I think it's real. I think because there's a track record. Look at Pete Carroll, what he's done in the past with corners. Like he's played the Tariq Woolens, he's played young guys that he believes in, that's talented, that he feels like can play that position. So he's not afraid to do it. Tariq Woolen was not a guy that we expected to come out and play meaningful snaps year one, like, and he did. So Darian Porter is a guy like that kind of compares to him in that like he doesn't have a lot of experience or he needs more development. And they have him already out there with the day one, the first team, I should say, for first team cornerback. So Eric Stokes is a guy that was drafted in the first round, has that athletic profile. I think ran like a 4.2. He's 6'1", has the length that obviously Pete Carroll wants in cornerback. So I think it's real. What's your take?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's real, because I think that Pete Carroll understands he doesn't have a lot of time here with this team. For whatever reason, it's because he's old as hell. But hey, who knows? But he understands that he does I think he wants to accelerate these guys' learning curve, and I think the only way to really do that is for these guys to play meaningful snaps in the NFL. And the cornerbacks coach whose name escapes me right now, but he spoke highly of Darian Porter. Just his athleticism, his work ethic, and the fact that he's not a repeat offender when it comes to like mental errors. Like he makes a mental error, then he gets over it, and he's kind of locked that in, and he's good. And they kind of said, speaking about it, I don't remember if it was him speaking about it or somebody else, but that the fact that he hasn't played much corner in the past is not necessarily a bad thing, because he's basically it's a clean slate. He's like a ball of clay. Now we can mold you into the kind of player that we want to mold you into. And Pete Carroll, his success and a lot of his prowess has been around the cornerback position. So the fact that he gets a guy with that work ethic and with that intelligence and that toughness and those those traits, and he's been molded by a guy who loves teaching that position. On the football field, well, I think that's a recipe for success. So I can imagine that those guys with the kind of measurables they have with that coaching, he'll be able to bring out the best in them, and he has a track record of doing it.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm betting on pretty much. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, Jair Alexander is available, or Jalen Ramsey is available. I think I seen something on social media. Social media is just social media, but I seen like some where Max Crosby retweeted something about Jalen Ramsey in a hype video, who's currently like looking to be traded to a team. Not to say that the Raiders are going to be that team, but you never know. You never know. We'll see. That's the only, like, I would say dark horse thing is that if the Raiders might make a trade or pick up somebody, But I think right now I think a lot will be. I think what's going to be eye opener is what's going to happen after mini camp, because they're going to make some moves, whether that's sign a linebacker, whether that's signing a corner, that's whatever they feel like needs a little upgrade, a little more competition. We'll see what the Raiders do after mini camp. But we'll see, man. But hey, man, Smoke says I think Porter will get playing time, but I don't think they'll throw him in there starting week 1. But bro, Tariq Woolen, bro. This is Pete Carroll special right here. I could be wrong though. There's a reason he's getting reps with the first string. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Is that, like, we'll see.
Yeah.
We upgraded at QB, but I'm still not pleased with Geno. Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm just betting. I would say I would bet on the players around Geno. And not to say Geno, like, I don't even think y'all y'all are making me defend Geno. Like, y'all making it seem like Geno is trash, and Geno's way better than what the quarterbacks that we've had the last few years.
By leaps and bounds, man.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Like, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Jimmy G,
Brian Hoyer, Desmond Ridder, whose name Pharaoh cannot remember for the life of him. What is he? East Coast
Desmond Ridder. I mean, is he?
But there's no need to remember him though. It's not even worth remembering.
He's not even in the league, man. He's not even in the league.
Remember. That was comedy though. He's like, yeah, the guy.
That's funny, bro. Let's move on to the next. Let's answer this question. There's a couple of questions. Derek says, "What do you think about Ashton Genty not practicing this past week?" He's out. It was a full participant. He was out there.
Maybe it was. Because if you talk about this past week when there was no practice, maybe it's like a week. But yeah, I think he's been participating, as far as I know, in every single voluntary and mandatory. Well, obviously in the mandatory ones, but I haven't heard anything about him not participating. So that would be news to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Severe, you want to go ahead and go with the second what's sure what's not?
Yes, sir. So what's sure what's not? It's number 2. Wide receiver from Tennessee, Dante Thornton, will be the starting outside wide receiver on opening day for the Raiders. So Dante Thornton will be the starting outside receiver, the Z receiver for the Raiders. Is that real or it's not?
Man, I think. I mean, go ahead. You about to?
There we go. I'm going to go because the options are limited. No, I think Jack Bech is not an outside receiver. Trey Tucker, he's kind of both. He doesn't really have the height for outside receiver, but he doesn't have the skill level to play the slot full time. I think Dante Thornton, with the way he's been putting this camp together, I think he does it. I think he does it. I think he starts on the outside. We've seen mid to late round picks for the Raiders from Tennessee burst onto the scene and have some deep threats. The measurables are a little bit different, but it's that same school. And I think everybody knows who I'm talking about. Was it the same round too? Was he a fourth?
Hold up. Did he come out of he came out of Tennessee?
Yep.
Deep threat?
Yeah.
Out of Tennessee?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Dante Thornton. We're talking about previous receiver. Denarius Moore came out of Tennessee?
Yep.
Ooh, man. Denarius Moore, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like randomly, I've had like random favorite players on the Raiders. Like obviously Jerry Porter, Charlie Garner. Just random. Like I know like if you look at a grand scheme of things, they're not all-time great players in the NFL or even on the Raiders, like looking at their history. But just randomly, like Denarius Moore, Charlie Garner, Jerry Porter, Darren McFadden, you know, Henry Ruggs was Ruggs would have been that. I could tell. Like I was looking forward to watching him play. Like, what is he gonna do this week? What is he gonna unlock this week?
I was rooting every fiber of my being for Henry Ruggs to be successful, man. Man. But Dante Thornton could be that guy, man. He could be that guy. Then Jalen Hyatt came out of Tennessee too. Yeah.
The Raiders passed on him too for your favorite player, D tackle. He plays for the Eagles. Did he get cut from the Eagles? He might. I don't know if he's.
He got a Super Bowl ring already.
Do he? Oh yeah, man. You know what? Hey, look, he's a winner. He's a winner. Byron Young, man. But nah. And you're saying it's real?
I'm saying it's real.
And you're more saying it's by default. By default, he's going to be the starter.
By default, but I think he's shown enough. He's been showing enough.
I don't think it's real. I don't think it's real. But you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just feel like.
So what do you got? You got Besh or you got Tucker? Or you got Colin Johnson?
I think they might sign it. They might sign a veteran receiver. They could possibly sign a veteran outside receiver.
Could. If you think it's Keenan,
Cooper's out there. Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen just.
I'm Mark.
Like Keenan Allen's a good player, but it's just like, damn, like we would probably have the slowest receiving core in the NFL, bro. Outside, if Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a day off.
Exactly.
The Raiders are screwed.
Yeah, corners sitting on everything at that point.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm gonna throw in. You know who I like too? I like Michael Bush too. I like him. I like the Darren McFadden and Michael Bush are like those are like I like that running back room.
I do too.
And shout out to Jacoby Ford. I'll throw him in there. But Jacoby Ford, I always looked at him as like one of those like gadget trick players. Yeah. But randomly he'll have like a big play. He'll be like, oh damn, okay.
Yeah. I always liked like where I always rooted for players that like never got no run. Those would be my favorite players on teams. Like guys that like had potential but was never gonna like really play. Like I would always like gravitate through this. Like Johnny Morant. Like I was like, man, Johnny Morant, just get out there, man. Like,
I don't know what you've seen out of Johnny Morant. I didn't see it, bro. I didn't see it.
Johnny Morant was
I didn't see
it.
it.
It was measurables. All it was measurables.
Measurables. Okay. I like Ronald Curry. Ronald Curry was nice. I didn't like Doug Gabriel like that.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I just thought he was
another guy, Darnell Bing. I wanted Darnell Bing. I don't even think he made the team. I think we picked him up. He got cut.
You know who I like that he just never could get healthy was Osbury.
David Osbury.
I thought Teo Johnson was going to be better than what he was.
Stanford.
I thought Teo Johnson. I was like, oh man, I think the Raiders got their tight end. But he didn't do shit. He didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Not a goddamn thing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just that's how bad the Raiders been. Like I'm like a lot of the players that I liked were they just didn't pan out, bro.
Your boy Alvis with it.
Alvis with it. That was Al Davis right there. Walford.
Clive Walford, man. I thought Clive Walford was gonna be a dog. I'm not even gonna hold you. I thought Clive Walford was gonna be a dog.
I thought the Raiders offense was gonna be set. Like, damn, we got a tight end, we got the receiving core is cool, like we got pieces on offense, but he was never the same after that that crazy off season ATV was an ATV, I think it was like an ATV accident. It's crazy. Smoke says Zach Miller.
Zach Miller was cold. What's crazy is that
he had the all-time slowest was it like an 80-yard touchdound where he just
it was nasty.
He was rumbling,
he was like
stumbling. He had 3 blockers. Like
it was terrible.
he had like, hey, who blocked for him? That was one of the greatest blocks. Like he literally blocked for him, and created that touchdown for him. Who was it that blocked for him? I forgot.
The thing that's crazy about Zach Miller is that same year, Chicago had drafted Greg Olsen in front of Zach Miller, and then we drafted Zach Miller, and then through the first 2 years, it looked like Zach Miller was way better than Greg Olsen until Greg Olsen got away from Chicago, and then as soon as he got into a real team, Greg Olsen turned all the way up. He just started killing, and Zach Miller
way more explosive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Way more explosive. He just became a better player in everything. I felt like Zach Miller was kind of in that a poor man's Jason Witten.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was like.
But if you're a poor man's Jason Witten, there's a good chance that you may never play the game of football again. You'd make a great assistant coach or something like that. I don't know, man, but but Zach, it's at that time too. The Raiders didn't really have a lot of pieces on offense though, but it is what it is. Man, everybody's saying Kanye West, man. Y'all motherfuckers. Y'all hilarious, bro.
Yeah, right
Forget
now,
y'all, man. Ooh, you know what? Okay, before we head out, bro, you know what? Let's do a tight end. Let's do tight end real quick, bro. Top 3 tight ends of this generation. Oh, you know what? That's too easy.
That's kind of pretty.
Hold on, let me think. Let me think about it real quick. Number
it's
1
pretty. It's Kelsey, Gronkowski, and then
Gonzalez.
You can go Gonzalez or you can go Gates. This is 3. It's gonna be 3. Is gonna be the person too. You go Gonzalez or Gates.
I'm gonna go Gonzalez.
Gates got way more touchdowns than Gonzalez. Way more. It's not even close in terms of touchdowns. Not even close in terms of touchdowns. The MVC, and he's not on that level, but right under that level is Dallas Clark.
Well, this is something that you always talk about, right? When you talk about tight ends, you talk about their overall game, right? And I don't think Gates had that overall game as a blocker, right? He was more of a receiving tight end, strictly receiver. Gonzalez, though, I think probably had a little bit more. He had more than he had more. I'll say.
He was more than Gates, but it ain't much more. It's that. It ain't much more. It's barely more. If you talking about blocking, barely.
You're taking Kelsey over Gronkowski. I'm taking Gronk, bro.
Overall, I'm taking Gronkowski. I'm taking Gronkowski, but it's hard to argue with what Kelsey has done as a receiver. It's not even it's video game.
Yeah, he's dominated. He dominated. You can't even get mad at it.
Yeah.
That's one of them. I'm telling you, it's one of them AP and LaDainian Tomlinson. But number 3, you're giving it to Gates.
I'm probably going Gates. Yeah.
So you said Gates. People say Gates. Tony Gonzalez aren't. Well, last 20 years. 20 years,
yeah. We're going 20 years.
We're going last 20 years. We're going last 20 years. So that's why I said earlier, are we doing last 10 years or are we going last 20 years? And we kind of said last 20 years.
We said last 20. Last 20 years, yeah.
Last 20 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, Gates is definitely in there. I will go Gates. Man, yeah, if Jimmy Graham had stayed where he was at, Jimmy Graham would be in the argument too. He was destroying.
I'm not gonna lie, hey, Kalipi, bro. you said Jeremy Shockey. You know who I thought, bro, like was gonna be a monster at tight end, but end up being just a monster of a person, like disgusting. Kellen Winslow Jr.
But yeah,
like I thought he was gonna be a clean, bro. I thought he was gonna be a monster.
Yeah, I thought he was too.
Out of Miami, like obviously he's Pop's all-time great tight end.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna be a beast, but yeah, he was disgusting though.
Yeah.
But Jeremy Shockey, you know what? Every time I think of Jeremy Shockey, I just think about that one play.
Which one?
Where he's just breaking hella tackles. He broke hella tackles.
Oh, yeah. Was that Monday night? Was that a Monday night football game?
I think that might have been like his coming out party.
I don't remember. Yeah, I remember the game, but I don't remember. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Gonzalez, Gates, Gronk, and Kelsey all right up there.
Vernon Davis was crazy. My dog. Most.
Bro, see, I gotta look this shit, man. You know what? Hey, East Coast man, appreciate it, man. Five more touchdowns. Come on, bro.
5 more touchdowns than Gonzalez.
Come on, man. And at the end too. At the end, Gates was struggling. He was there to, you know what I'm talking about? Like he was hanging on for dear life. He was hanging on for dear life.
5 more than Gonzalez.
Gonzalez though was productive damn near all the way to the end. He was productive to his damn near his whole career.
Those Atlanta years was kind of sketch.
How is it a sketch? He was productive. He was good.
I don't remember those. I don't remember him being that productive for Atlanta.
Well,
I could be
at
wrong.
least his. I think at least one of those years. I think he bought. I think he. Let me hold up. I gotta look this up, bro.
Look it up for touchdowns, because he has from what I recall, he had the record by like quite a bit.
No, I'm just looking at what he did with Atlanta.
Oh, he's Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he finished his career at a solid look. So his last 2 years, he had 93 receptions, 930 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2013, his last year in the league, he had 83 receptions, 859 yards, and 8 touchdowns. That's how he finished his career. Now, if I go to Gonzalez, it's disgusting. Gonzalez, I'm not Gonzalez. I'm talking about Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates.
Antonio
Gates was hanging on for dear life.
Now he had some strong seasons. Yeah, he had some strong seasons. He had stronger seasons.
He had. Gates had some strong. Hell yeah, he was unguardable at times.
No, I'm talking about Gonzalez. He finished stronger than I recall him finishing. I remember him. I thought he went outside, but maybe he went outside because he was trying to win with Atlanta. And
bro, look at Gates' last year in the league. It was 2018. He had 28 receptions, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2017, 3 touchdowns. Damn, yeah, it was. Damn, I ain't gonna lie. His numbers are disgusting. I mean, just in terms of if you're comparing them, hell nah, Gonzalez is for sure number 3. What the hell is this?
I'm still going. Yeah, you gotta give it to Gonzalez. Nah, just looking at the numbers. Nah, you gotta give it to Gonzalez. Looking at those numbers. Yeah, looking at those numbers, you gotta give it to Gonzalez.
What the hell? What happened? I think it was after man, I'm trying to
Nah.
Damn, I thought it was a little bit better than this. I think yeah, bro. I don't know, man. Yeah, Gonzalez. Let me see, Gonzalez. I mean, he had and you gotta mind you, tight ends didn't get wide receiver numbers, too.
Nah.
Back in the day, there were certain guys that, like Gonzalez getting 102 receptions in 2004. That was crazy. Yeah. Getting 1,200 yards, that's crazy. Like a tight end getting 1,000 yards, that's crazy.
Yeah,
because they don't run a lot of
Gonzalez did it 4 times. Gates only did it twice. Yeah,
is this not? Okay, that's not this generation, but Shannon Sharp though. I was thinking more all time. That's an all time is like all time great tight end.
Yeah. This generation, past 20 years, it's Gonzalez.
Well,
Looking at the numbers.
I mean, past 20 years. So look, past 20 years would be like basically 2005. So if you look at 2005, man. If you want to be technical, 2005 would be like the beginning mark of 20 years. So if you look at it from that perspective, then like, sheesh. Then it's like, then you can make an argument for maybe some other tight end, but I don't know.
Nah, you gotta go. Looking at everything, you gotta give it to Gonzalez.
I told you, bro.
You gotta give it to Gonzalez. I just remember Antonio Gates so much more than Gonzalez.
For real?
Yeah, I remember Gonzalez, obviously, but I just remember just Gates and Rivers. Because I think the Chiefs were bad. The Chiefs were bad most of that time. So it was like...
Yeah, but I just remember Gonzalez used to...
Gonzalez was a monster.
he was a monster. I just remember... What I remember growing up was Priest Holmes, Tony Gonzalez, Trent Green at quarterback. They had shitty receivers. Nasty-ass receivers.
Your boy Elvis Gerback.
You know what I mean? Who else? But they had Dante Hall. Remember them Dante Hall teams?
Oh yeah, that was what you call it. When what you call it got there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, that was came over from the Rams. I forget his name. They would be crying all the time. That's my man's name. Head coach was with the Rams. Yeah, they had Dwayne Bowe as wide receiver.
Dwayne Bowe. But Shannon Sharp is like before. Shannon Sharp would have been Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham, but
Jimmy Graham. Let me know what.
He was
20 years would be. Yeah, he was, but he had like a little.
Dick Vermeil, there you go, Dick Vermeil.
Oh yeah.
Vermeil be crying all like, damn, Dick Vermeil just be crying. He'd be happy. He'd start crying.
Hold on, let me see his career real quick. Damn. He had like a.
He probably put it back.
Damn, he had like a 4-year run that was pretty good.
Oh, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, he had like from 2011 to 2014.
That's when he was with the Saints, right? That's before he went to Seattle.
That's when he was with the Saints. Before he went to Seattle, and after he left this, I think that after he went to Seattle, then it was like
fell off a cliff.
Yeah, he fell off a cliff for sure.
You see that Brock Bowers? It would pay Carroll duty. You're crazy. Nah, that was old boy. I forgot his name. What's the offensive coordinator's name?
That's gonna be on Chip Kelly though. Chip Kelly is gonna be the X factor, bro. He's the X factor for the Raiders offense next season. We could talk about Dante Thornton and Genty and Bowers and like that. Chip Kelly is gonna be the one where like he's gonna have to figure out how it's gonna work because we feel like, damn, we got some creative, weapons. Like we got some, like, Michael Mayer, can he be a weapon in this offense? Can Chip Kelly, who's been talking about, oh, you got to build an offense around the strengths of the players. You can have a system, but you got to build this. It's all gonna depend on what Chip Kelly's gonna do on offense and how he gets everybody involved. Vernon Davis.
Yeah, he was a freak athlete. I don't think he put up enough production over a long enough time to be there.
But what did old boy say about Vernon Davis? Would turn his career around?
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it. I want winners. I want people that want to win.
Like he basically, Vernon Davis said that like that whole he changed his whole career. Yeah,
He changed life. I think he wrote. Mike Singletary wrote a book, or Vernon Davis wrote a book. I can't remember, but either Mike Singletary wrote a book and Vernon Davis wrote the foreword to it, or Vernon Davis wrote a book and Mike Singletary wrote the foreword to it for him. I can't remember which one it is.
Michael Singletary is like the coach. He's like, I'm sure they're super close after that whole situation. But Michael Singletary is one of those coaches, though, like, he's a great assistant coach. Great. No, I'll say good linebacker coach. You would want him to be a linebacker coach or something like that. But as a head coach, man,
you can have him.
You gotta run into the wall and you gotta bang your head. Like he's one of them. Like he's not no X's and O's. He's like he's gonna do something crazy. Yeah. He's gonna try to bite through the locker or something like that. Like, we're gonna win this game.
You can have him. You have to have strong assistants. Like you have to have super strong assistants to
all
to
time great assistants. You gotta have all time like the greatest assistants of all time. The greatest assistants.
Yeah,
greatest assistants.
Because like he can set the tone, but he can't like. But eventually he'll just be like
he can't call no plays. Yeah, he can't call no plays at all.
Yeah,
no plays. I'm looking at Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis.
He started off slow, but then I think he started cooking like year 3 or something like that.
Oh, damn. I don't know what's wrong with my spelling right here. Vernon Davis. Let's see his numbers real quick. Yeah, he did start off slow. I remember coming out, he had ran a 4.3 at tight end.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah,
I remember what did Rex Ryan say? He's like, you never seen a tight end be a deep threat in the offense.
Yeah.
Which is wild to say.
Yes.
He had a solid career.
Yeah, he's not in that realm. I think we have our 3. Grant, Kelsey, and Gonzalez are the 3.
Yeah. Those are the 3. But man, we appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. If you haven't already, make sure to clock in at this point, clock out, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, it's a great show. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. Severe, man. Let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's at the Severe Raider here on YouTube, on IG, on Snapchat, on TikTok, on X. Basically all social media at the Severe Raider. You guys already know what it is. Live with my guys, Chris and 805 Protect the Shield. That's Sunday and Tuesday. And then rolling with my guy, Pharaoh, Tuesday as well, and Thursday. Tuesday is 50-50 show, as you guys watching now. Thursday is Around the Shield. Also have an interview that just dropped earlier today with Dub Raider. Shout out to Dub Raider as well. Make sure you go over there and check that out and subscribe.
I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out, man.
Yeah. Real smooth, man. Real smooth interview, man. So shout out to him for that. And man, just be on the lookout, man. Right now is the silly season, man. So it's about to get real slow in the world of the NFL news, man. But we're gonna keep y'all entertained. If nothing else, we're gonna keep y'all entertained.
Man, first of all, man, make sure to hit that like button. But my guy Smoke, man.
Smoke, man.
On the way out, man. Appreciate you supporting the show, man. He's have a good night, fellas. Peace and blessings, man. Appreciate you supporting the show as always. Yeah. And man, like Severe said, we'll be back here next Tuesday, 50-50 show. But also this week we'll try to get another guest this week for Around the Shield, and we'll try to continue that throughout the off season. So if you guys have any ideas on who you would like to see on Around the Shield, just leave a comment. Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comment section. Hit us up, and we'll try to see what we can do and get them on. But yeah, man, we'll be back here hopefully this Thursday. This Thursday?
Yeah.
We'll try to shoot for this Thursday for Around the Shield. And obviously 50-50 show will be next week on Tuesday. Make sure to follow us all over social media. Obviously myself, PharoahNFL, and Severe Raider. You can find them on Twitter and on IG. And also follow Around the Shield on all social media platforms as well. Twitter and IG, man. We're trying to build that up. So definitely give us a follow there. And yeah, man, great show. We'll be back here. Man, it's gonna be a little bit of football hiatus, low key, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like after this week, after minicamp, it's gonna be a nice little break.
Yeah, 6 weeks. Something like that.
6 weeks, man. I mean, this. If you want to take a vacation, this is a good time to take a vacation. I ain't gonna lie, man. This is a good time.
Yeah.
But definitely tune in. Tune in and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Any last thoughts before we head out?
Yeah, man. Tim Brown is the greatest Raider of all time. That's from a guy Smoke.
Don't tell that. Hey, don't tell that to Smoke, man. Come on, man. This. Come on. Tim Brown, man. Tim Brown. Hey, that was a crazy clip, though. I didn't realize how crazy that clip was when he was just. You just hear him say what he was saying. What the hell, like
wild.
And he had no clue, too. No clue.
At all.
No clue.
He's stepping on landmines left and right. Don't even know it.
And Up and Adams, she was just looking at him like, yeah. Like, keep going.
Take that.
All right, man. We up out of here, man. All right, y'all. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.